Well, welcome to the Allen Americans podcast, and very excited to have with us on the cast today is Kaity Floyd. Goes by Floyd with the Allen Americans, but if you've been to a Frisco Rough Riders game for many years, you've seen Kaity out there as part of the crew, and last year as the in-game host. First of all, Kaity, you're looking great. Looks like the pandemic has not hurt you at all. How are things over in Frisco?
You know, not too bad. Trying to hang in there like everyone else, but it's weird. I not going to work. I'm like, I have to get my hands on something, because
Absolutely.
not feeling productive it's my least favorite thing. So just trying to stay busy, really.
Well, how was year one for the Allen Americans? You did an awesome job. I thought you fit right in, and I think doing what you've been doing over at the Rough Riders definitely helped because you really look good out there and very confident on camera.
Good. I'm glad it looks like that. But that was my first year with the Americans, and it was so much fun. I'd never had any like experience with hockey because I was just never around it. So that also coming into that, hosting it and trying to learn the game at the same time was a little difficult, but I had so much fun, and everyone over there, and you've been awesome, and just the team over there, the staff has been awesome. So.
Well, it's great, and I know, baseball is a big love of yours, and tell everybody how long, I think if I remember right, you told me you were involved with the Rough Riders from like when you were 15 years old?
16 is when I auditioned for the entertainment crew, and I had never even thought to be a host. So yeah, this would have been, if we had a season, it would have been my 10th year, or yeah, wow. But last year was my first year to host though. And I never even thought about it because I was like, well, I don't have a resume, and they have people who have hosted for Dallas Stars and things like that. So when I did get the opportunity, I just like caught the bug and was like, oh my gosh, I just want to do this wherever I can. So.
Well, yeah, and you were great. And I remember telling our game ops director, Corey, I said, you need to reach out to Kaity. She does an awesome job over at the Rough Riders. Of course, I'm missing baseball this year. How is that for you, not doing baseball right now because you should be?
I've cried a couple times, honestly. But like me and the crew over there, we're such a family. We have like family Zoom calls and stuff because we always keep up and everything. But we were holding on to hope, sadly it's not going to happen for the crew or anything, but and just not even getting to watch it is sad, because I want to host, but I also just want to watch the team. So it's been hard.
Well, I talked to your buddy Jose Trevino this morning. We're trying to get him on a podcast. We're just trying to work around, schedules, and obviously they're pretty busy right now. Got to be excited about Major League Baseball returning very, very soon. It's a shame that great new ballpark, and we're not going to be able to be in it.
I know, right? But what's funny is Trevino actually lives in my apartment complex. And not a while ago, I don't know if I told you this, but he like messaged me on Instagram, and he was like, are you the one who's been feeding all the stray cats out there? So yeah, I guess he's been seeing me. There's a bunch of stray cats, and I'm like, well, I'm not doing anything. Let's make friends with the cats. And I was like, yeah, that's me. I guess you're closer than I think.
Good for you. That is awesome, especially in this heat. They need water and they need to eat. So
I know.
Where did your love and your passion for baseball come? Because you told me, obviously, young age. How did you get so involved in love for the game of baseball?
Couple things. My dad played in college, so he was a catcher for the Gators.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he'll always tell me his stories, and he's kind of the only one like in my immediate family who really likes to watch it. So he's been my baseball buddy, and we'll talk baseball. And so a lot of that's because of him. But then, 10 years ago when I started with Rough Riders, that's when I grew to love it even more because, not only is it's fun to watch. Some people are like, no, it's boring. But I'm like, no, shut up. I'm just kidding. But no, it's cool because when you get to know the players, and not even like personally, but you're like, oh, this guy's up to bat. Or like when Gallo was with the Rough Riders, you're like, oh my gosh, I can see him. So it really helps, to get to know who the players are and stuff. So that's made it more fun too.
Absolutely. Not to mention the fact, I know you've got a chance to meet a lot of cool people. They've had, like one of my favorites Joey from Full House, and Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island. They've got
Yes.
some big name people over there.
Yeah, we were gonna have Oscar from The Office this year too, but
Oh, wow.
but yeah, Joey and all those people have been so sweet. And one time, it was maybe 2 years ago, we had Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell.
I was there.
And, like, I love that stuff, and that was like really 90s. But then, like you said, we had Marianne, and I love the classics too. So, and we had Didi Khan from Grease also. So yeah.
And a few years ago, I remember it was just chaos, madness over there when you had, oh my gosh, and I'm drawing a blank on their name, the Dude Perfect.
I knew you were going to say that, yeah.
Yes, and I couldn't believe the number of people lined up outside to get in that night.
I had no idea it was going to be that big. I know they were like, big name and big on YouTube, but there were so many kids. So yeah, that was a little bit difficult to maneuver, but it was still fun. They had a great time.
So your first year last year in hockey, what are some of the things you learned about the game of hockey that you didn't know?
Everything. I didn't know anything, man. I'm still learning, and also, I don't have time to just sit and watch the game
through,
because I'm like on the radio, like, oh, I have to be in this spot or find a contestant for this. So when I say everything, I mean everything. I'd never been to a hockey game. So.
Well, you were a natural at it, and I think the one thing about it, and I learned this a long time ago. I remember I went to North Texas, and I remember my professor saying, hey, look, if you want to be a broadcaster, you have to be smiling all the time. If you're smiling, people will smile right back with you, and you're always smiling and happy on camera. That's a big key right there.
Well, I love what I do, I'm not just saying that. I really, like, when I hosted for the first time. Did I tell you like the story of how I got into it at Rough Riders?
No.
Do you want to hear that?
I would love to.
Okay, so we had a different host at the beginning of the season. And like I said, I'd never like dipped my toes in it or tried out, but I told my boss, I was like, hey, if she ever goes out of town, like I'd love to give it a try, And so it was one weekend and it was just packed, and she was either sick or out of town. And so, yeah, my boss was like, you want the game? And I was like, yes. And so the first time I did that, I was pretty nervous. But after that, I was just like, that's when I caught the bug. And then she ended up not coming back, and I was asked to host the rest of the season, and I had the best time. So I'm always smiling because I love doing that.
Well, yeah, you were great. I thought you brought some real, energy and enthusiasm. And you guys have a lot of great promotions over there. And I think that's the one thing that we're trying to build on over here is have more fun things going on during the games. And I know for sure you're going to bring a lot of great ideas to this year. One other thing that I found out about you that I didn't know until after we became friends was that we both share a love for scary movies.
Oh,
and yeah. One movie in particular, The Shining, which will always be my all-time favorite scary movie. And you've even taken it a step further than me.
A little bit with my my 217. I don't know if that.
I love it.
Yep.
That's awesome. So obviously you're very young, but how did your love for The Shining? How did you? Are you just a Stephen King fan, or how did that all come about? Stephen King is awesome, so definitely a Stephen King fan. But I don't know. I just love like eerie, scary movies, and like I love just Halloween time, and I don't know. I just love scary movies, on the edge of your seat. And The Shining is such a classic. Obviously, with Jack Nicholson, it's just insane. And you were saying what you? No, that was Mike who was interviewing Stephen King, wasn't it? I think so. Was that? Yeah. I'd love to. If that opportunity ever comes available, I'm there.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm like, yo, I got the tat. Can I come? But yeah, I love scary movies. But where did yours come from? You always just love them too?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I think it's just from the time I was young. To be honest, there's a lot of parts of the Shining. Like I still have never seen the part where he gets the axe. And every time I close my eyes because I see that coming. I'm like, Scat man, get out of the way. But
Well,
that's one of my favorite parts of that movie. But it's all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, right?
yeah, typing.
Now the book is different because I know in the movie it's room 237,
Yeah.
and obviously in the book it's room 217.
Yeah, and it's 217 at the Stanley Hotel too, which I was telling you I went to in August, which was so much fun. And the guy staying in the room, he saw me taking a picture outside and he was like, "You want to come in?" And I was like, "I would love to, thank you." So that was a really fun trip.
Yeah, what was that like? Did anything crazy happen in room 217?
No, but what's funny is I didn't know anyone was in there. Because really, you're just kind of supposed to be a hotel guest in that area.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
But by the door, I was like, I didn't know if this was a setup that kind of the front desk did, but I heard really old, just really old eerie music coming from 217. And I thought that was like, the staff just setting that up for whoever comes by. And then he just opens the door like abruptly and was like, "Hey, you want to come in?" And so of course I jumped, but I was like, absolutely. So he was really nice, and obviously he did that to scare people coming by, which I respect the troll, but it was so cool just that.
Yeah, that's such a great old hotel. A couple of years ago, we had a team in our league in Colorado, so we had a couple of days off in between. So we took a Saturday road trip, and our bus driver took us up there, and we sat in the hotel, Monty Williams. And now one of the neat things that I didn't know until I got there, that little hotel bar in there is where they shot the scene from Dumb and Dumber. Did you know that?
Yes, yeah, they had pictures up for tourists and everything coming by. And I got one of my favorite sweatshirts there in the gift shop, and then I lost it the month after.
That's well, I guess you just have to have a reason to go back again now.
Exactly. I couldn't find it online, so I was like, "Yo, we got to go back there ASAP."
It sounds like maybe an Alan American's road trip at some time. We'll get a bunch of people and we'll just go there and have fun.
I was thinking that'd be so much fun. I'm totally down.
Now, did you see the sequel yet? Which Dr. Sleep, and I've heard mixed reviews. What's your thought?
I loved it. I went in, with an open mind. I didn't think I was gonna love it. The beginning, I was like, but towards the end, I just thought they did really well. So I loved it. What'd you think?
You know what? You're right. The ending was good. There were some parts of it I'm like, let's get more back to The Shining. But definitely the ending when Danny went back to the hotel and he was walking around and kind of just the way it ended. I don't want to give away the ending for somebody who wants to see it, but the ending to me just really kind of brought it to life. Okay, this is, this part now and somebody else is, moving on. So I thought that was great. But, I've heard mixed reviews. Some people liked it. Some people were like, I was expecting just the whole movie to be at the Overlook, but not the case.
Yeah. No, I was surprised though. I really liked it. So.
This is Kaity Floyd and goes by Spud as well. If you've been to a Rough Riders game, you'll see her running around throughout the stadium there. How did Spud come about?
Spud came about. So that's not only a Rough Riders nickname. That's family, friends, everyone on crew over there, obviously. So when I was younger, I was that kid who was allergic to every food. So when I was in school, I couldn't eat lunches like the rest of the kids because it was always in some oil I was allergic to, or this had pepper, or this had corn, and this had wheat. So I was just hauling around my medicine, But I could have potatoes. I got no reaction from potatoes. And so I would and I thought everyone did this when I was really young. I would just eat raw potatoes, just shave them in school and just carry them around like apples.
Oh, wow.
And I still do that. It's so good to me. But people who didn't even know me would be like, "That girl's got her Spud today." And then it became, "She is Spud." So, but I like it. I don't know. It's spunky,
That's a great nickname. And one other thing that I found out about you is you're musically talented. Now, if you've been to a Rough Riders game, you may have seen one of her videos on the video board there, but talk about your music career, and you're a singer, and a very good one.
Thank you. Not a career yet. One day, hopefully. But I just fell in love with rock music at a really young age. So I started singing that when I was in high school. That's when I first started performing in rock bands, and it was so much fun, and it was just for fun. But then everyone, went to college or went on with life. So I haven't been in a rock band in years, but I've released some solo stuff. It's kind of on the R&B side. Some of it's rock with synth, just kind of experimenting. But yeah, my love's with rock music. I really just want to get in a band again and just go nuts on stage. Because I love performing, obviously. And
Yeah,
it's so
yes, you do.
and it's so fun when you get to perform what you write. So I love doing that. And sometimes I'll write for other artists and sell songs to them. So yeah.
What give me a couple of your favorite songs you like to sing, maybe from other artists.
Favorite songs I like to sing. Well, I mean, I'm a GNR fan, and Axl obviously has a voice. So I did used to cover Night Train by Guns N' Roses.
Wow.
Yeah. Who else do I like to cover? Oh wait, sorry, my phone's. Can you see me? Sorry. Okay. I love to cover Candlebox. They're like early '90s grunge, and they're this tattoo.
Oh, I got a story for you. I don't mean to interrupt you, but did you know that our former bus that we traveled on was Candlebox's tour bus?
That's insane. You touched on that really briefly, and I was like, wait, hold on.
Oh yeah, our first bus, the big red machine that we traveled on for years. Before it was our bus, it was Candlebox's tour bus.
That is insane. Like, what are the odds? And now those guys are good friends of mine. So, awesome. I did cover their song, and then he found me online and was like, "Yo, sing that with me." And then I'd never been more nervous in my entire life. Who else do I like to sing? I love Fair to Midland. They're another rock band from Texas. Oh my gosh, Julie Andrews is one of my favorites to cover. What a voice. Holy cow.
Oh yeah.
The Sound of Music's my favorite movie of all time. So really any song from that soundtrack I love to sing.
And what's amazing about you, Kaity, is the fact that you like a lot. You were born too late. You should have been born like in the 80s or 70s because you love all that music. You love all those movies. Do you ever feel like maybe you were born 25, 30 years too late?
Absolutely. And I've written a song about that too. Being raised in the 70s, I would have loved that so much because you got David Cassidy, who I always thought I was going to marry. And then obviously Zeppelin, and yeah, just, I've definitely thought about that.
Well, I have an idea, and I talked to one of our signees recently, Braylon Schmear, and he told me he plays the guitar. Now, a few years ago, we actually had the Allen Americans band going. I think we need to find the talent on the team this year and team up with you and maybe have a concert or two post-game.
That would be so much fun. I would be down for that. I'd even ask around if Mike would be like, hey, do that. I'd be on it.
Well, I think we can make it happen because there's a lot of times it's hidden talent. People, a few years ago, we had Aaron Jens, who played for us, a defenseman, who was really, really good on the guitar and he could sing. And Maddie Davis, who is from this area, who was on The Voice a few years ago, she was around. I believe she's still living over in England. I don't know what it's called, but then we get together and do a couple jam sessions after games, and it was always a lot of fun. But I think we need to resurrect that with you.
I would love that so much, and the fans would love to see them too.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? This was such a great thrill to get the chance to talk to you, catch up with you. How is the family all doing well?
Yeah, we're doing well. I went to Florida recently to see my grandpa. So in this time, it's cool. I'm just trying to hang out with family when I can. Still obviously quarantine. I'm not like running around, but I did go to see him for a while. So that was nice. But yeah, and then my got married, so we're doing all right.
Well, you have a great life and obviously a great future ahead of you too, and doing whatever you want to do, whether it's in-game hosting or singing or whatever, you name it. Well, why not? You're multi-talented, so definitely enjoy. But hopefully, sooner than later, we'll be talking about hockey again.
Yeah.
I think we're still kind of in the unknown about when everything is going to get started here. The NHL is going to be coming back here soon. Obviously, baseball starting very soon. So it looks like sports are starting to come back around a bit.
Yes, thankfully. Hopefully we'll get there soon. It's been too long.
Absolutely.
I'm crazy.
No, I know. Trust me, I'm right there with you. But Kaity, thanks for doing this today. Appreciate it very much.
Yeah, I'm
And
glad we finally got to. We've been talking about it.
absolutely. You know what? Sometimes it just you never know when it's going to come together. And I know, like you said, we've been chatting about doing this for a couple weeks, but here we are. And that, ladies and gentlemen, she's Spud. She's Floyd. I know her as Kaity, and we love her. Thanks, Kaity, for doing this today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.